ESPN on January 26, 2018, stated that since the NFL began recording concussion data in 2012, the 2017 season, its most recent season, has marked the largest prevalence of diagnosed concussions to date. Football is one of the most popular sports in American society. However, there are serious, debilitating risks involved with long-term participation in this sport. The prevalence of concussions in football players is a hot topic that has undoubtedly had a negative effect on the popularity of one of America's favorite pastimes. Tonight I'd like to focus on 3 specific effects that I find to be most prevalent. First, concussions deter parents from allowing their children to play football. Second, with regard to long-term brain damage and quality of life after their careers, the risk-reward is not as desirable to players as it once was. And finally, the NFL is a huge market in America, but its viewership has declined, and the concussion issue has played a major role. Though much of the conversation about football-related concussions is relative to how it affects the National Football League, this issue is affecting the game from the ground up. The relationship between concussions and participating in full-contact football has led more parents to shy away from allowing their children to participate in such an activity. Studies have shown that repeated concussions can cause traumatic encephalopathy, also known as CTE. CTE can lead to debilitating neurological problems like involuntary aggression and even dementia. There's statistics that back up the trend of parents not allowing their children to play football as well. The Chicago Tribune, September 5th, 2017, states that 10 years ago, the Chicagoland Football Youth League had 10,000 youth participants. 10 years later, in 2016, that number was down to 7,500. In a poll conducted by NBC News and the Wall Street Journal in January 2018, 48% of parents polled said that they would rather their child play a sport other than football because of their concerns about concussions. Now, the hesitation to play football doesn't stop with parents. It has spread to professional players as well. In recent years, several NFL players have hung up their cleats because of the risk of long-term brain damage. They decided it wasn't worth the reward of playing professional ball. Most recently, the Baltimore Ravens' John Urschel followed the likes of A.J. Tipley of the Buffalo Bills and Chris Borland of the San Francisco 49ers by leaving the NFL because of reservations related to the possibility of CTE. On top of players, ESPN's Ed Cunningham, who is a successful football analyst, also walked away from the sport because of his discomfort with the trauma inflicted on players he covered from week to week. Part of what motivated these football professionals to quit was the witness of several players before them who suffered tremendously at the hands of CTE. One prime example of this are David Durson, Junior Sal, and Andre Waters. These 3 players actually committed suicide, and after their deaths, brain scans revealed that they too suffered from CTE. For years, the NFL fell short in their responsibility to keep players safe. They failed in their responsibility to keep players informed about potential health hazards, namely concussions. The league went to great lengths to cover up the severity of concussion-related injuries suffered by their players. This scandal doesn't sit well with many who were once fans of the sport. With regard to viewership, the NFL has long been considered the most successful professional sports market in America. Surprisingly, the raised awareness of concussions and CTE, as well as the NFL's negligence in addressing the issue for so long, has resulted in a decline in viewership. In a poll conducted by NBC News and the Wall Street Journal in January 2018, 49% of those polled said they follow the NFL closely. This number is down nearly 9% from a similar poll conducted 4 years prior. Sports Illustrated, on January 4th, 2018 stated that NFL TV ratings are down nearly 10% from last season. For the first time ever, football viewership and its ratings are declining, and concussions are a part of the reason why. Concussions caused by participating in football have caused an overall decline in popularity of the sport in America. Younger generations are increasingly discouraged from participating, and many current players are hesitant to continue. NFL viewership and ratings have decreased because of how the NFL has handled this issue. In its 2017 season, the National Football League recorded more concussions than ever, a statistic that has drastically changed the perception of the game.